Good day, boys and girls. Welcome to this another lesson in mathematics. Let me introduce you to our topic for today. We'll be looking at perimeter. Before we get into the lesson, let's take a look at our objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, pupils will be able to explain and use the term perimeter. Calculate the perimeter of various polygons. Compare lengths using terms such as longer than, shorter than, and verify by calculating the difference. Now, we have a handful of work to do today. Let's get right into it so we can learn about perimeter. What is perimeter? Perimeter is the distance along the boundary of a shape. For example, if you notice here, we have a grid paper. On this grid paper, we have a shape which represents a square. Now, if you look at the square, you'll notice that it occupies some of the squares on the grid paper. Let's see if we can use our definition to find what the perimeter for this square is. Remember now, perimeter is the distance along the boundary of the shape. Along the boundary of one length of the shape here, we have 2 squares. We can say here we have 2 units. So that's 2 units there. At the other side, another 2 units. Down the bottom, 2 units occupy there. And at the other side, 2 units. Now in total, we have 8 units. So the perimeter is 8 units. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus another 2 will give us 8. So the perimeter for this shape is 8 units. Let's look at another example. Here we have our grid paper with the outline of a shape on it. The length of one side of each square represents 1 centimeter. On the grid paper is the outline of a rectangle. Can you tell what is the length of one long side of this rectangle? Very good. The length of one long side of this rectangle is 5 centimeters. Now, if you notice, the length of the other long side is also measuring the same. So, we'll acknowledge that the length of the other long side is also 5 centimeters. Can you tell me now what is the length of one short side of this rectangle using the grid paper? Very good. It is 2 centimeters. So we have 5 centimeters for one long side, 2 centimeters for the short side, and the other long side also 5 centimeters. And at the bottom, the other short side, it is also 2 centimeters. Now remember, perimeter is the distance around the shape. So let's now calculate to find the perimeter. 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 will give us 14 centimeter. The perimeter is 14 centimeters. Let's take a look at another one using our grid paper. Here is another rectangle. Can you estimate the perimeter of this rectangle? Look at it closely. Let's now check to see if what you have estimated is correct. The length of one long side is 9 centimeters. One short side is 3 centimeters. Here we have the length for one long side and also the length for one short side. Can you now use the information shown here to calculate the perimeter for the rectangle here? Let's check to see if you are correct. Perimeter equals 3 centimeters plus 9 centimeters plus 3 centimeters for the other short side plus another 9 centimeters for the other long side, and we have a total of 24 centimeters long. Let's move on. Here we have the outline of the letter L. It is shown here on your grid paper. Can you estimate the perimeter for this shape? Remember, perimeter measures the distance around the shape. Look closely at your grid paper. Now let's find out if you are correct. 7 centimeters along that side, 3 centimeters along that side, 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters going across there, 2 centimeters coming down, and 6 centimeters at the bottom. Now, what are we going to do with these numbers? Remember, we are finding the perimeter, so we will add the distance around the shape. Let's do that and see if your estimation was correct. The perimeter is equal to 26 centimeters long. Were you correct? If you were, tap yourselves on the shoulder. Let's move on. Now we will be finding the perimeter without the grid paper. Perimeter of various shapes. Let's move on. Around the shape we have 7 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and 3 centimeters. What is the perimeter? Did you guess 20 centimeters? Very good. Let's move on. Here we have a triangle. Now we are supposed to find the perimeter of this triangle. Around the triangle, we have one side measuring 7 centimeters, another side measuring 10 centimeters, and another side measuring 9 centimeters. What is the perimeter? I know you can do this one, boys and girls. Try it quickly. Let's now take a look at the answer. The perimeter is 26 centimeters. Clap yourselves. You are doing well. Let's move on. Can you find the perimeter for this square? Each side measures 4 centimeters. Now remember, a square has 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles. So, in this example, the length of one side is 4 centimeters. Do you think you can find the perimeter for this square? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it and solve it. Then we'll check and see if you are correct. The perimeter is 16 centimeters. You are doing well. Tap yourselves again. Let's move on. What is the perimeter of the hexagon shown? The hexagon is a polygon with 6 sides. Look at the measurement for each side. Calculate your perimeter. I know you can do this. Go ahead. The perimeter is 16 centimeters long. Now we're going to find the perimeter of a parallelogram. Let's look at it. Here we have our parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with with opposite sides and angles that are equal. Now, here we're going to find the perimeter for this parallelogram. Do that quickly for me, boys and girls. I know you're getting better at this. The perimeter is 20 centimeters. Tap yourselves. You are doing very well. Let's move on. Here we have a pentagon. A pentagon is a polygon with 5 sides. Look closely at it. Look at the measurement for each side of this pentagon. Calculate the perimeter for me. I'll give you just a few seconds to do that. Do it quickly. Good luck. Hope you do well. The perimeter is 22 centimeters. Now that we have calculated the perimeter of several polygons, we're now going to solve some problems that involve finding the perimeter. Let's take a look at this problem. A triangle has sides measuring 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and 6 centimeters respectively. What is the perimeter of this triangle? Remember, boys and girls, a triangle has 3 sides. Here is an outline of what it could look like. What is the perimeter? The perimeter is 14 centimeters long. I know you're having fun, and I know you're saying, I'm getting it, and this is easy. Now, we're going to look at another problem. Let's hope that you will get this one correct as well. Let us move on. Now, find the perimeter of each triangle. Then we're going to compare to see which is longer. Go ahead. Now let's check to see. The first triangle, the perimeter is 12 centimeters. The second triangle, the perimeter is 15 centimeters. Which is longer? The second triangle, it measures 15 centimeters. Now, to find the difference, to compare, to see which is longer and by how much, we're going to subtract. So we're going to subtract the perimeter of one triangle from the other. 15 centimeters, subtract 12 centimeters will leave us with 3 centimeters. So the perimeter of the red triangle is 3 centimeters longer than the perimeter of the black triangle. Let's move on, boys and girls. Now let's see if you can solve these on your own. I know you did well with that activity, boys and girls. If you didn't get all of them correct, check with your teacher. I'm sure they will be more than willing to assist you. Now, let us review our objectives to see if we achieve them for today. Did we explain and use the term perimeter? Yes, we did. Did we calculate the perimeter of various polygons? I'm sure we did. Did we compare lengths using terms such as longer than, shorter than? And did we verify by calculating the difference? I am sure we did. I know this was really a fun activity for you to do, and I know you learned a lot from this lesson. Now continue to calculate the perimeter of various polygons and shapes in your environment. See you next time, boys and girls.